What up YouTube, it's Misery's Company. Like I mentioned in my last video, we are now Immortals in Diablo Immortal. It's been a while since I've been an Immortal in Diablo Immortal, so I do want to go ahead and take this time to show you guys the best and most efficient ways of gaining contribution as an Immortal, because that's a big part of helping your clan, and it's very different than when you're a Shadow. So let's get straight to it. Okay, so first things first, I have 880 contribution. You can see there's people with 3K already. A lot of our bigger whales do have 3K. People are 2K, 1.7. So I am by no means like in a great spot, but I'm also not like in the lowest possible spot either when it comes to contribution. So, I mean, there's definitely people all over, I would say like the spectrum, but that's not quite how I mean it. But you know, there's people all over in terms of the contribution total. But there's a reason that these people have as much as they do. And I want to kind of talk about it. So I'm actually doing one of the exercises right now, and that is doing my daily dungeons. So while this is cute, I'll go ahead and show you. So you get a somewhere between like 7 and 9 daily goals that you have to accomplish, and this is the best way of getting contribution. So each of these will give you the 25 contribution, and you have to complete 9 of them, so you get a decent amount for your dailies. And it does change, and based off the perk that the Immortal itself has selected, you can get more contribution reward from these, which we'll talk about here in a second. This is easily the most important thing you could do as an Immortal. If you miss even one day, it is a big deal. So you do want you do want to make sure that you are prioritizing this over literally everything else, even over like your bounties or anything else you're gonna be doing in the game, your 3 dungeons you do on a daily basis. Unless it's one of these 3 dungeons, you do want to make sure you do it. I will say the kind of challenging part, if you will, is that so like right now, if you look at the boosted dungeons for our server, it's Forgotten Tower and Temple of Namari. What is he doing? What are we doing? All right, so the hard thing is this guy made me lose my train of thought, is that this is not a boosted dungeon right now. So there's not a lot of people doing it. Now they made this slightly better by allowing cross servers to do it. So this used to be completely impossible. The first time I was an Immortal, this was a nightmare. So it became literally impossible to try to fill a dungeon run when you were an Immortal unless you got people from the Immortals. And I don't play at the same time as everyone else that's on my server, so I can't always coordinate it. Now, obviously, I do prefer to do that, as my preferred way of playing is with other Immortals, but like right now, it's, 10 p.m. Eastern time, and I, I'm just now getting on for the first time to do videos as well as my daily Immortal task, which I would never miss, that's for sure. So the other thing you could do, I'm gonna go ahead and open this. Let me just follow somebody because I'm a good person. So we're gonna go and do that. Also, this is why I love that they added this. So not the codex. If you go to your activities, go to the Immortals. The only other thing, there's 2 other things that give you sort of the contribution, and that's contributing yourself. So you can contribute. I'm probably about to die in the background, by the way. This is a big part, but you'll notice that I'm sitting on 26 of these, and you want to save them during certain periods of time where you can really double down your contribution. So if you go to the activities, the only other thing outside of contribution and daily goals that does give you the contribution is the defending the vault, which as a non-mega whale is massively difficult. So unless you partner up with other whales, it can be very difficult to try to win those vault fights against the Shadows, especially after all these server merges have happened. The Shadows have an immense amount of favor over the Immortals. But you do get just the slightest bit of contribution for doing it. So I would definitely recommend doing that at least once every day. There's 2 times of which you could do it. We'll pull that back up because this is, rapid. So it's like the best AFK dungeon to do this for. But yeah, if you go over here to activities, and defending the vault happens between 12 and 1, and then 7 to 8 I do have my notifications on, so I do try to do it as much as possible. I did miss today and yesterday because I have been traveling for work, but that's on me, no responsibility of anyone else. The other big one I actually forgot totally about Kion's Ordeal is that this is like the mega raid. Does it say how many people it does? It does not. It's a lot though. It's like a 40, 75, something like that. It's really crazy how many you can do. This is also a massive part, but you're also very limited in the beginning as to how many people can go through this. Maybe it's 45 actually, now that I said that. So we are doing it for the first time today by the time you're watching this video, tomorrow my time right now when I'm recording. And we're only have enough to do 2 times for the week, which means we only can get a really select amount of people through, which is really going to hurt our contribution as well as theirs. So that's how you get like the distorted amount of contribution compared to other people. But that's really the only ways of gaining contribution, which is why it's so important to prioritize your daily tasks. Look at all that. Banner is such a good skill, easily the best skill in the game. And then we'll just take damage for a second. So yeah, you want to do your dungeons. It's so much easier now, like I said, than the previous time that I was an immortal, because you actually have the ability of matching with other people from different servers. That was not the case. So I ended up lowering the difficulty, punishing myself, punishing my loot, and running it by myself. Again, punishing my loot and my progression, and a waste of time it felt like. So I'm so glad it makes it so much better. A little bit of server lag there on the for the immortals, because it was really just like annoying. Like I hated doing the dungeons. It was so bad. But while our teammates go and finish this process right here, so if you go down to strategy here, you can see the vault. You can obviously select the different weapons you can try to get. I don't have anything worth my time at the moment. It's like none of this is an upgrade. And then you can see the powers of which for the different crowns, which are really selective on who has the ability of doing that, obviously, because it's tied to the immortal and their closest friends, really, or whoever the officers are in your clan, depending on how you and your alliance handle that. I am nowhere near part of anyone in charge of our clan, nor do I want to be. But so yeah, if you go down to strategy and then click on this, you can see the different immortal strategies you have. So if you do concentrate power, that actually is what you do. You get additional dominance, which helps you with your contribution. So this is 1.2%. So we do this on Sunday and Monday, maybe just Sundays. We did Sunday and Monday this last week, and for the rest of the time we bolster the vault, which again, defending the vault added as an immortal goal, which helps people do it, but does not grant sigils or dominance for Essentia, which obviously is a problem. I'm gonna go beat this boss real quick. So it's definitely it helps in terms of getting people to want to do it, because it becomes one of their daily goals, but then they don't necessarily get rewarded for it, like it mentioned in that little excerpt. Go ahead and beat this boss, and then we'll look at the rest of it here. But the dungeons, like I said, I can't stress it enough. It is so much easier to be an immortal. This was probably the worst part, and Keon's ordeal is actually a lot of fun, because after you do it, you actually do get the ability of getting just a crap ton of legendaries. Both you get a guaranteed legendary from doing it, as well as a legendary crest, and then you also get the chance of getting more legendaries by standing in like these circles. I might even I already have a video on my channel explaining it and showing it what it does, but I might make another one if you guys want to see a more updated version of that. So let's kick it back over to the activities one more time so I can look at that third option in case you're curious. And that's the reward loyalty. So increase weekly rewards for all immortals and gain additional essentia. So this is how your daily quest would actually get more reward. You get more rewards for doing it. It's not all of them. This makes it read as if it is all of them, but it's not. It's each day this is active. Oh my gosh, reading this week's increase weekly prestige rewards by 10%. So you can actually get it goes up to what's that bottom part? Bonus essentia earn 50%. So you get like select quest, at least from the last time that I've done it. That it gives you a couple. So there you go. I got 2 more bonuses here, which is great. And let's see, I was at like 850 something if I remember correctly. Yeah, so I got a little bit more contribution there, so up to 900. These guys, the reason they are as high as they are is because the first 2 days are massive when it comes to contribution, and I was only active for one of those days. So I literally have half the contribution that I probably would have had otherwise. And then these guys are also some of our bigger players that are, I don't want to call them out and say like Wales is in a bad way, but there are stronger players. Like, I mean, let's go and look at Bless. Yeah, his combat rating is 12,961, so he does very, very well in the vault, and I'm sure he does it very, very frequently. So that's how you do only get a little bit, but when you consistently do it 2 times a day, that's how it really does add up over time. Whereas I've only been able to do it once a day, with the exception of the last 2 days that I've missed. So you can see where it really does incrementally, you kind of sort of fall behind when it terms of contribution. Now, why is contribution even important at all as an immortal? When it comes to your, where is it at? Activities? Nope. I just had it. Strategy. So when it comes to selecting your different pieces that you want, you can request item, And then if there are multiple requests for an item, the player with the highest weekly ranking will receive it. You get ranked based off your contribution. So this is where the contribution really matters, is that you do get to select a piece that you want. You can select up to 3. You actually prioritize them as well, 1, 2, and 3. And then let's say, obviously you're likely competing against other wizards. So I would highly recommend you communicate with those different wizards to say like, hey, this is a massive upgrade for me, or this one's just a minor one. And you can work together. That way you all get pieces you want instead of one person getting all the best ones. But obviously you want to, respect the process and keep the integrity of it, and make sure the people with the highest contribution do get priority, because that's what's going to happen if you have a disagreement with them. But as you can see, this was a massive part of the game when we first got the Immortals, the very first Immortal round. We had it for like 6 weeks. It was nuts. It was also very exhausting. That's the other thing with the Immortal. Like you are set when you are the Immortal clan, you are going to lose. It's just a matter of how soon that happens. We usually keep our reign in this new guild, our clan, for a couple of weeks, maybe 1 or 2, depending on how it goes, and before we end up rotating around again. And I mean 1 to 2 weeks after the 3-week period that you have it guaranteed. So yeah, this is that's the vault, and that's sort of the best ways of getting your contribution up and why it's important to do so. I personally love the changes that they've made ever so slightly to make it a little bit better to be an Immortal. It still very much is time intensive compared to being a Shadow. It's very casual, but also very rewarding, and you can feel yourself getting stronger and stronger and stronger as a Shadow, which eventually leads to your overtaking of the Immortals, whereas the Immortals are obviously very strong up front. So I'm enjoying being Immortal again. I'm enjoying seeing all the different activities that I haven't done in a long time. I will be doing, like I said, Keon's Ordeal for the first time tomorrow. And then the Corvus Expedition is you get some keys as well as just some crafting material to help upgrade your gear. It's really time intensive for the amount of reward that you get is so little. And it does require you to either do a quiz or to like coordinate linking up arms and going all the way across to like connect 2 different beams. So it is kind of funny, but after you do it the first few times, it's really just annoying. So a lot of people just don't do this, and you don't get any contribution for it. And then obviously the Rite of Exile is something that if you're a bigger person, a bigger whale in the game, or just have a bigger account, you are going to want to make sure you take part of that, because that's how you can keep your Immortal reign for as long as possible. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know if there's anything in particular you want to see about being an Immortal that I have not clarified, or if there's anything you want to see or have me expand on, or if you want to see, what I say, Keon's Ordeal again for a second time. I'm more than happy to do a video about that. Let me know in the comments below, and until next time, guys, lock it in.